So I'm going to show you how to make the most brilliant beetroot pancakes. They're so nutritious, really tasty, perfect as an option for pancake day or Valentine's Day because they're that beautiful pinky colour. So I'm going to start by using some buckwheat flour. So this means that they are gluten-free, but obviously you can use pretty much any kind of flour if you want to. You could have spelt flour, for example. So I've got in here 250 grams of buckwheat flour. You'll find all the recipe ingredients, by the way, in the link below, but this is just to show you how I do it. So you're going to start with the dry ingredients, so buckwheat flour, and then into that I'm just going to make a well, and then I'm going to add the baking powder. Now this is what makes your muffins or pancakes nice and fluffy. So I'm just going to use a teaspoon of baking powder, and then I'm going to use some salt and pepper in there just to season because these are savoury pancakes. And then if you want to, if you like them a little bit spicy, you can add a pinch of chili powder or maybe some chili flakes. I'm not crazy about chili, so I'm just going to use the tiniest little taste just to kind of give it a tiny bit of tang. So I'm going to mix that together to start with. And then what you're going to do is add your damper ingredients to the flour. So I'm going to use a tablespoon of olive oil. Love using extra virgin olive oil in so many recipes. And I'm also going to use this for frying as well. So that goes into the flour. And then I'm going to use a beaten egg. Got a nice organic egg that's already been beaten. So I'm going to add that in. And then I'm going to add some whole milk. If you wanted, you could use a plant-based alternative, but I like using whole milk in mine. So I'm going to add just a little bit of the milk to start with, just to sort of wet the mixture. And then I'm going to add the beetroot. Now the beetroot I have cooked already, so I've boiled the beetroot. And depending on the size of your beetroot, you know, it might take 30-40 minutes perhaps to actually cook the beetroot. And then what you need to do is you need to grate it. So it's handy to pop on a pair of gloves. These are just around us all at the moment, aren't they, because of hygiene and safety. So I have grated my beetroot just to show you how that works. Take a beetroot, and I don't skin them, I keep the skin on, lots of prebiotic fibre with that as well. And once the beetroots have cooked, you'll see that it actually grates really easily, just like that. So grated beetroot, also really good actually if you have these cold, because you can use grated beetroot in salads and all sorts, mix it with grated carrot, for example. That's a really good combo, carrot and beetroot together. So I'm going to put my grated beetroot into the flour and then mix those together, and then add in the rest of the milk to make this batter. And this is where you can adjust it slightly if you need to, so that you get that lovely batter consistency. So mix that together. You can already see that turning into a really great colour. Pop the rest of the milk in there. Mix this all together. And then once you've got your batter mixture, then you just need to heat your oil to get ready for the frying process. Look at this colour. Oh my goodness. And just see the goodness. Talk about eating the rainbow. That is just amazingly good. And you know, beetroots are naturally sweet. We actually get sugar from sugar beet. So these are delicious. Kids love them. They make a really good kind of vegetable savoury accompaniment to any dish really. You've got a bit of grilled chicken or some halloumi cheese or some fish, or obviously you can just have them on their own. So that is my mixture. So take my gloves off and then come over to the top of the stove, where I'm going to heat a little bit of olive oil here, ready for frying. I like using olive oil for frying because it stays stable at high temperatures. So just coat that over the pan, let that heat up, and get my batter mixture. see if this is ready to put a dollop of mixture on. And you can make little pancake shapes. So you can make these as large or as small as you like. Actually, it'd be quite nice if you could do little tiny ones, couldn't you? So like bite-sized canapes. I'll make that just that kind of size. Let that cook through. So you can make a whole stash of these. You can pile them up. And while that is just cooking, I'm going to be serving it on a dish with a few little crumbled walnuts. Walnuts, really good source of protein and healthy fats, vitamin E. A little drizzle of honey if you want, just for some added sweetness. This is some nice runny honey, which has started to set actually, so I'm just going to leave that here to slightly decrystallize, just warm that very slightly, but you might have some pouring honey already. So that's beginning to sizzle nicely at the edges. You can see, I don't know if I'm going to be brave enough to flip that. You could do. You could try it, but I think I might actually try and flip that over using a fish slice. Let's see if this is going to go. There we are. Just cook that through a little bit more, because what you really want to do is to get it nice and crispy around the edges. So just keep an eye on it. You don't want it to burn, but you just want it to cook through nicely. Really good source of protein. You've got egg in there as well. And of course the beetroots themselves are incredibly nutritious, just bursting with antioxidants. They always say eat the rainbow, so really important to include a little bit of purple foods in there. You've got your anthocyanins. That's just cooking through nicely. And because I've used the baking powder, that's going to give the pancakes that little bit of fluffiness. I wonder whether I dare risk flipping it. What do you think? Yeah, all right then, feeling brave. Let's see what happens. This is where it goes all over the floor. Okay, so it's, whoa, there we are. Managed it. Let that cook out a little bit more. Actually, I think it might need more on the other side, so there we go. That's beginning to crisp up nicely. So once that has cooked through, you can just take that off the heat, and I'm going to bring that onto my plate. Be nice actually served on a bed of greens, so you could have maybe some nice raw crunchy salads. You could have maybe a little bit of watercress, a little bit of honey spread over there. Just pop that over the top of my pancake. I think my honey needs to be a little bit runnier, but you get the idea. Just coat that over. And honey, of course, is so delicious with feta cheese and walnuts. So I've got some walnuts. Just crumble those over. A little bit of feta cheese. And this is such a simple dish. You know, it's a little tea time snack, or a great lunch dish, or a great brunch dish. And there you have it, your deliciously healthy beetroot pancakes served with feta, honey and walnuts. Enjoy!